Man, I
Go to
tell
the
you, man,
White
looking
House
forward to
to
this
follow
great show
suit.
tonight.
Join me 3 times each
You got it. Here
How
we
much
go.
time we get? Oh, we go?
station. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Portions of the following program may be pre-recorded.
It's Your Life is sponsored by James J.C. Cooley.
Life is a series of circles and cycles, phases and stages. These are your experiences that teach you the lessons of life. You can either ignore them or embrace them. Welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life. James is a motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the James Cooley Foundation. James is here to equip you to strive for greatness and to overcome adversity. It's time to get equipped today for the challenges of tomorrow. Now, here's the host of It's Your Life, James Cooley.
Hello, welcome to It's Your Life. I'm James Cooley, and I just tell you that, wow, just loving the moment, just loving all the great things that I believe that the James Cooley Show bring, and all these absolutely fantastic guests, especially this guest tonight. And he has been a member, or he has been a guest on the show before, and he is a sensational guy that's doing great things to help preserve the planet, help make sure that things are going to continue to blossom and follow the food chain, and that all the great things that deal with plants and that deal with the earth, soil, that deal with all these great things. He is the guy. At least one of the guys that I know that doing great things. So his name is Jim Mumford. But we're going to get back into him a little bit later, because he is the absolutely special guest tonight. Yeah, but first of all, I'd like to say my absolutely fantastic co-host, Michelle Cooley, who's here. And I think this is my second time seeing her today, because she's always working. And we work in the same building, but I don't get a chance to see her until right around this time right here. So, how you doing, Michelle?
I'm doing good. I don't know what was wrong with me. I'm thinking today is Wednesday, but it's actually the day before. I'm having one of those brain fogs, so I am doing great. It's been a great day today.
And we can't be dating the show, Michelle, because this show is going to be ran many times. So we can't date the show saying Wednesday, Thursday, not Saturday, but we can say a great show. And I tell you, Noah, getting ready. I'm traveling tomorrow to Atlanta, Georgia. I'm doing a couple of shows from the State Farm Arena.
Tell D-Man I said hello.
Oh, D-Man is listening in right now.
D-Man, hello.
Hey, D-Man, call in if you can. So we're going to be heading to Atlanta tomorrow, doing some great things.
Great city, man. Great city.
Love Atlanta. It's about an hour and 30 minutes from my hometown, Chattanooga, Tennessee. Unfortunately, I ain't going to be able to make it back home during this 4 days that I'm going to be there. But I just want to say that it's just so wonderful. Salem Meeting, I tell you, probably one of the greatest conferences in the world. They give me an opportunity to come on and just do my show, let me be me, and bring absolutely fantastic guests on the show like Jim is tonight. And
Studio's already a little greener just having him here.
Oh, man. And I don't know if you remember last time.
I do remember last time.
And a couple of pictures that he presented where he was like up in the middle of the green as it was growing. He was just sitting there smiling and just throwing his hands up like, this is my creation. And it is, because he's doing some great things. So
Yeah, I think if Wrigley Field ever needs an Ivy makeover there in Chicago, they should definitely call Jim because he's the man.
I think the world need to call Jim.
I agree.
I think
I agree.
I think he can help everybody. And you know what I tell you? Watching Jim, looking at him right now, looking absolutely beautiful, wonderful on Facebook, on YouTube and Instagram, and all these other networks that is streaming live. And yeah, hey Jim, you're looking good, my friend. How you doing?
Thank you. You're too kind. You know, it's been 6 months since I was here last.
Wow.
I'm stunned.
Well, I am too, because we can't have that type of departure no more. We
agree.
We have to have you on. And you know what? You are willing, even with your extremely busy schedule, to come in studio. Next time I have you on, I will be sitting across from you.
Love it.
If that make any sense. But I want to get this show started immediately, because you got so much to bring, and I'm so proud over the last couple of weeks of and we'll talk about those later, the achievements and awards that you have received, and it's all deserved, my friend. It's all deserved. Yeah, so I want to get started. Michelle, can you please tell our listener what's the title and the purpose of the show tonight?
Yes, the title of the show is Good Earth Plant Company, Transforming the Environment, Health, and Well-Being with Plants. And the purpose of the show is getting to know the background of award-winning plantscaper, green roof, and living wall designer Jim Mumford, discuss his business, Good Earth Plant Company, talk about the second edition of the white paper he wrote, talk about the industry's conference he recently attended and the award and accolades he received, and talk about what are living walls, moss walls, and green roofs.
Wow. Michelle, can you please introduce this great guest to our listening audience?
Yes, Jim Mumford, a longtime San Diego resident, began his career in 1977 with the opening of Good Earth Plant and Flower Company, a flower bucket stand in downtown San Diego. More than 4 decades later, Mumford is a thought leader in expanding the potential for bringing the living world of plants into our everyday lives to experience their positive environmental, aesthetic, and health benefits. Mumford is an award-winning plantscaper, green roof, and living wall designer, a sought-after speaker, and a recipient of numerous local and national awards. He's a certified landscape professional, accredited green roof professional, licensed contractor, and a nationally recognized plantscaper. He is currently studying the relatively new fields of biomimicry and biophilia. In March 2008, Mumford launched Greenscape Buildings in addition to the Good Earth family of companies specializing in green roofs, living walls, biofiltration, and rainwater harvesting systems. Innovations tested over the years, including interior and exterior living wall systems, edible walls, moss walls, replica plant walls, and rainwater harvesting systems, whether for limited spaces or large-scale installations, are coming full circle and being adapted for indoor living spaces and workplace environments. Scientific research continues to find that plants reduce workplace absenteeism, speed the healing process from disease and surgery, lower stress and stress-related illness, and reducing heating and cooling costs for homes and businesses. Mumford currently resides in San Diego. His adult son and daughter, Ted and Allie, inspire his desire to leave a sustainable world for the next generation. The James Cooley Show, it's July. Welcome back, Jim Mumford.
Jim, welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the show. You know, first of all, it's an absolute pleasure. I want to tell our listener audience, the phone lines are going to be open immediately.
2 minutes.
And that's 1-888-344-1170. Again, that's 1-888-344-1170. Jim, I'm going to ask you this question, and I just thought about this question right now as we were talking. Can you tell our listener audience in 90 seconds or less how important plants and all the things that you do is so important to the growth and the foundation of making sure that our earth continue to blossom?
I play a very small part in the whole big picture, but let's look at plants from this perspective. We don't survive without them. They provide the air we breathe, the food we eat, the clothes we wear, Heck, if you want a wooden baseball bat, that came from a tree. And so man does not live without plants. That part's easy. The sustainable part, trying to bring nature into people's lives, a little harder because we're doing it within buildings, on the roof, on the wall, on the ceiling, on the floor, and that's what we do.
Wow. You know what? That was a
1 minute.
Great answer leading into the break, because when we come back, we're going to take a station break a little early. But I want to come back because I don't want our listener audience to miss any of this great man, Jim Mumford, and the things that he's doing. So I tell you, if you want to be part of this great conversation, phone lines are open right now. 1-888-344-1170. Again, that's 1-888-344-1170. It's your life. I'm James Cooley. We'll be back shortly after the break.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity. Coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley.
Noah Dingley here, producer of The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And the new audio version of James' book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, is a must-have. James shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. Get the new audio version of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James Cooley on Amazon.com or wherever audiobooks are sold.
The J.C. Cooley Foundation is a nonprofit organization that was started in October of 2014. The J.C. Cooley Foundation continues to strive to expand its programs and offerings to the youth, young adults, and citizens of our great communities nationwide and overseas. We hope that you'll be able to take part in one or more of the many exciting events that we're offering this year and experience firsthand the pride we take in supporting our cause. It's our mission to equip the youth of today for the challenges of tomorrow, and we rely heavily on the generosity of individuals and business owners for support. Without the assistance of community-minded individuals just like you, we wouldn't be able to serve our youth each year. We ask that you make a commitment to support our annual appeal by making a cash donation. This year's goal is $50,000. Your generosity will assist us in making a difference in the lives of the youth in our community. You can give online at CooleyFoundation.org. Remember that every donation makes a difference regardless of size. The J.C. Cooley Foundation thanks you in advance for your contribution.
Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, the true life coming of age story by James J.C. Cooley. Using humor, wit, and engaging storytelling, James paints a picture about his arrival in a rural deep south town and realization that life would never be the same. Cooley lays out his struggle to adjust from city life to country life and back again, sharing his hard-earned lessons to educate, encourage, and enlighten our next generation of leaders and heroes. Get your copy of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James J.C. Cooley, available on Amazon and everywhere books are sold.
We can make your bathroom shine. Right on price, right on time. Miramar Kitchen and Bath.
The Miramar Kitchen and Bath family places the safety of your family as a top priority. All their employees follow the CDC guidance as they continue to conduct business. They're here to help you achieve your remodel dreams. Simply call and they'll start a consultation about your project. If it's something they can help you with, they'll discuss the next steps. If not, they'll point you in the direction that might help. Send an email. A picture's worth 1,000 words. If you send them photos of your space, they'll tell you what options they have for your project, or make an appointment to visit their design center. They'll safely practice social distancing while helping you with your project. Call Miramar Kitchen and Bath at 858-271-8434 or send an email to info@miramarkitchenandbath.com or Google to visit their website. Contractors license 657333.
Miramar Kitchen and Bath.
Streaming now at theanswersandiego.com and Odyssey.com.
It's time to dream big, think big, and be big. It's time for more It's Your Life. Now, here's your host, James Cooley.
Hello. Welcome back to It's Your Life. I'm James Cooley, and I'll tell you, I'm so excited about this absolutely fantastic guest and the things that he was doing. And he was kind of being modest a little bit with his last answer when said that he plays a small part. Without gym and without being a lot of gyms, there would not be any small parts because we would not exist. We would starve to death, and although and the food chain would not be able to exist and be able to strive the way it's supposed to be. So, hey Jim, I just want to say, yeah, great answer, but you play a major part in how the earth survived, my friend. How you doing?
Thank you. I try. You know, we enrich people's lives with plants, and we bring nature into their spaces, whether it's their home or their office. And I still get a kick out of the smiles that we see when we bring a new plant in or an orchid to put on the desktop. All these years later, I still get a kick out of that.
Wow. You know, and I'm getting a kick out of you being back on the show. I know it's been 6 months or more, but we got you here. And I tell you, PR people, especially, I tell you, Gail, I know that name rang a bell to you. She is so wonderful, my friend. She is so wonderful in reaching out. And my wife, I communicate with her a lot. She loves her because, I mean, not just a personality, but she just excited about everything that she does, especially bringing clients like you. And so, Gail, we are so excited, and you already know our phone lines is open anytime you want to do that. So I hope you're listening to the show tonight. But Jim, I got to ask you this question: what inspired you, and why would you inspire to enter this profession? Which I know what your resume is, and I know that you could have done many other things. But I believe that you went with the purpose in your heart. Can you tell our listeners a little bit about that?
Sure. Let's give Gail a last name, because if we're giving her a shout out, it's Gail Falkenthal of Falkenthal Group here in San Diego. You know, it's relatively easy. You know, at the time I didn't see it, but I grew up hunting and fishing and camping and hiking and going out looking for arrowheads with my dad, my grandfather, and I had a love of nature very early on. And then I have some artistic talent, and so I was able to realize this and combine these two different loves of my life into a career, a profession. And in the earliest days, I didn't realize what I was doing, and all of a sudden it kind of dawned on me, maybe as I was 25, 26 years old, holy moly, I've managed to take this love of nature and this artistic talent and combine them and create a job and a profession and a career for me. And that's where that passion started. And it's so much fun. Most days are not work. And so, you know, they do say find a job that you love and you won't work a day of your life. It's a kind of a cliche, but it's true. I don't really feel like I work. And people say, how you put so many hours in? Well, you know, was that really work? It was kind of fun. So that's where it came from.
Jim, can you tell us about Good Earth Plant Company?
Sure. Once upon a time I was a florist, but we decided that cut flowers is a very difficult business. I don't envy anybody who's a florist these days. But I loved the plants. And we put plants in pots, and those go primarily inside, but a lot of what we're doing now is more and more outside. So it's anything in a container. So if you say I've got a potted plant on a desk or in a corner, and then we started putting them on walls. And now we've got living walls where there's literally plants in different systems that come right out of the wall. We started putting plants on roofs. You know, it's kind of crazy to think I've got a soil and irrigation system and plants growing up on top of a rooftop, but it makes a lot of sense from an ecological perspective. And so we put them on the roof. And we're starting to do ceilings. And so now we have what's called overhead moments where we've got plants up high. So if it's a big mouthful of a term, integrated building vegetation, but that says what we do. Your walls, your floors, your ceilings, your rooftops.
Wow. You know, a lot of us don't know what plantscaping is. Can you tell our listening audience what is plantscaping?
Well, it's a little bit of a made-up word, but it's essentially landscaping, but with plants. We don't do lawns. We don't do hedges. We don't do trees. It's anything in a pot. So we coined the term. We didn't coin the term. We borrowed the term plantscaping.
Oh, okay. You know, you've had some great things come about in the last and recently, and you had just returned from your industry's biggest conference and trade show in Florida. Can you tell us about that conference and the trends that you that were discussed and spoken about during this conference?
I was at the Tropical Plant Industry Expo, otherwise known as TPIE. They have it every January in typically Fort Lauderdale, but they moved it over to Tampa this year because of renovations in Fort Lauderdale. It's for gardeners, it's for garden centers, it's for nurseries, it's for people to do what we do. It was it wasn't held last year because of COVID, and they held it this year, and I was so thrilled because I've got a lot of friends in this industry across the country, and it allows us to work across the country. And so we get requests like today for Phoenix, Arizona, and sometimes for Louisville, Kentucky, and Florida, New York. And so with the network that I've created, we've got partners in every city in the country. And so seeing everybody and being able to collaborate on different things, and the educational tracks are fantastic. I learned something new. Even 44 years later, I've been doing this. I still learned something new. So it was a really, really good show. Enjoyed the trade show. You know, it's interesting. When I was here 6 months ago, I was lamenting the fact that it's hard to get plants. Plants are so popular right now that everybody's buying plants, and all of a sudden, our growers were not able to produce enough. We've kind of gone over the hump of that. Now it's pottery. I can't get pots. And so the manufacturers and suppliers would get us a pot in 1 or 2 weeks. Now it's 4, 5, and 6 weeks. And the supply chain is real, and it's causing us, and things are costing more too. Prices are up 20%.
Wow.
So good to have that collaboration with my peers.
It's good to have that collaboration with your peers, and as you know, based on what's going on in our society, prices. Everything is sky high. Inflation is just going through the roof. But if you are good at what you do, just like Michelle mentioned, awards and your peers in the world will reward you, regardless of what's going on in our societies. You just won several awards, which I read them. I looked it up. I'm so proud of you, my friend. I'm so proud of you. And I know that you're so modest that you probably don't want to tell our listening audience about them. But, you know, I'm going to put you on the spot, my friend.
Oh, I'll talk about it.
Can you tell our listening audience, I believe it was 3, it might have been more, of the different awards you won and why they are so important and what they mean to you?
Let's start out with, I got to pick up the award. I got to stand there in front of the crowd, but my team did the work, and it's their award I got to bring home for them. We got 2 awards for design, one for a custom 3D printed planter we put on the wall in a corner of a famous DJ whose name I can't say, but anyway, so it was a very custom job there. We got another design award for a job we did here locally in San Diego, that for an office space that the property manager wanted to create a very collaborative space. They wanted to really invite people into this center courtyard atrium, and my design team knocked it out of the park. We had planters underneath the stairway where there's no light at all, so they used preserved and replica plants. We brought in some big chunks of driftwood so that every angle, every view in this space looks a little bit different. And that third award we picked up, they're all platinum awards. Third one we picked up was a job 2 minutes for a corporation up there, Aries, and we did a custom living wall that was 10 feet tall, 20 feet long, and it's just a phenomenal showpiece in their office space.
Wow, we only got like 90 seconds before we take the break, but custom awards and office spaces and baseball fields and everything, people don't understand that requires a whole lot of thinking and a whole lot of work that goes into that. And these professional teams or people call on you to design that for them. What are your thoughts, real quickly, 45 seconds, when you called upon those to design these? How do you go about coming up with the custom design for that particular organization or team or setup?
I ask a lot of questions. Almost
1 minute.
Everybody's got a little bit of an idea what they're trying to accomplish. And my job is to find the solution to get them there. It's not always with live plants. I try to do live plants as much as I can. Sometimes they're preserved, and sometimes they're replica, and sometimes it's moss. So it's really, we ask a lot of questions, get their vision, and make it happen.
So it's all about vision, understanding, and focus.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I tell you, we're going to take a station break, my friend. But we're going to come back. This is such an interesting conversation, and it's such an interesting education. So listen, audience, if you want to be part of this conversation, that's 1-888-344-1170 again. That's 1-888-344-1170. It's your life. We'll be back shortly after the break.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity. Coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley.
There is much truth in a journey that ain't over yet, as all of us journey through life's precious.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
just like I have.
I'm gonna bring the show back.
The host of the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life, and the new
we want to start off with
Country Boy, City Boy, a journey
question
that
number
ain't
8
over
and
yet.
9.
You can join me as I share my true life
to
story
ask those
of struggle
questions.
and
I
success
think they're
in
important.
America. It's both a cautionary tale and a
because
roadmap to achieve
hybrid
the American
workplace
dream. This is a must listen to for
and how
anyone
plants
who
make
stuck
a
in
difference.
life or need to understand that their current.
You want me to do them both into one question, or do you want me to ask them separately?
Ask them separately.
Okay.
But I'm gonna bring the show back, and you got those 2 questions, and
sure.
I'll pick it up from there.
Sounds good, bud.
All right.
Overcomer, because a bigger, better, and a more impactful life awaits you. Get the new audio version of my book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, on Amazon and wherever audiobooks are sold.
The J.C. Cooley Foundation continues to strive to expand its programs and offerings to the youth, young adults, and citizens of our great communities nationwide and overseas. It's our mission to equip the youth of today for the challenges of tomorrow. We ask that you make a commitment to support our annual appeal by making a cash donation. Your generosity will assist us in making a difference in the lives of the youth in our community. You can give online at CooleyFoundation.org. The J.C. Cooley Foundation thanks you in advance for your contribution.
Noah Dingley here, producer of The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And the new audio version of James' book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, is a must-have. James shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. Get the new audio version of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James Cooley on Amazon.com or wherever audiobooks are sold.
By now, you've all heard me talk about MyPillow, and now Mike has done it again with his My Slippers. Mike Lindell has taken over 2 years to develop these slippers. That's a year per foot. Designed to wear indoor, outdoor, all day, or all night long. They're made with a MyPillow foam and impact gel to help prevent fatigue and soreness. They're made with quality leather and suede, of course. And for a limited time, Mike is offering 50% off his My Slippers. That's like buy one foot, get the other foot for free. The My Slippers are so comfortable, you'll want to get some for the whole family, so write this down. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener square, and use the promo code, wait for it, San Diego. You'll also get deep discounts on all the MyPillow products there, including some overstock product like individual towels and blankets and comforters, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call 800-310-2548, 800-310-2548, and remember, use the promo code San Diego.
FM 96.1 North County, AM 1170 San Diego. The Answer.
It's time to dream big, think big, and be big. It's time for more It's Your Life. Now, here's your host, James Cooley.
Hello, welcome back to It's Your Life. I'm James Cooley, and we're talking about on the show tonight, we got Jim Mumford, and we're talking about Good Earth Plant Company transforming the environment, health, and well-being of plants. And I tell you that involves a whole lot of things. And a lot of people, I know that, like I have several plants in the house, and just simple plants. And it's like you just get a plant and you put some water in it, and then they're going to be okay until they get tired. You know what I mean? But it takes more. No, it takes more than just getting a plant, putting water in it, and throwing it in front of some sunlight. Because plants are different, and it depends on the environment, office spaces, or where you have the plants like baseball stadiums or walls and etc. It requires a whole lot of planning, and it requires professionals to be able to make sure that it's green every day. Even your grass, Noah.
Yeah, I think Jim would agree. If you use the model of just water it and let the sun do the rest, you're going to end up with a whole lot of dead plants.
Just put it like this, Noah. Okay, so our homes in Texas, where we at today, and our homes in California, where I'm back and forth every 2 weeks. I like to walk into the house when I get off the plane. Not just the house, but when I pull up there, I want the grass, and I want everything to be pretty. If it was up to me, it would be dead, or it'd be all type of weeds. You have to have people, professional folks,
that know what they're doing,
that know what they're doing, and that knows how to handle that. And I tell you, you got a great guy tonight. My guest, Jim Mumford, who is more than just grass and this and building walls and all of these other type of things. And the world cannot survive without plants. So I tell you, if you want to be part of this great conversation, that's 1-888-344-1170. Again, that's 1-888-344-1170.
Jim, it's good to have you back in studio again. I always love seeing you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I know workplaces are, and we could use some more plants in this office, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, you can.
But workplaces are moving more towards a hybrid type model, and I'm sure this is impacting your business. Maybe explain to us and the listening audience how this is maybe changing and evolving what you do.
Sure. We as you know, we wrote a white paper this last year on the post-pandemic office space, and we're right now going through a rewrite of it and updating it. And what we're finding is the people that go to offices are split into probably three groups. There's one group never wants to go back to the office again. They just want to work from home. And there's another group says, I want to go back to the office every single day. That's where I want to be. I want to get out of my house. I want to see my friends at work, etc. And the reality is the great big group in the middle is what we're calling a hybrid. And they're going to want to go into the office 1 or 2 days a week and then work from home 2 or 3 days a week. And so that's the space that we're looking at right now in the commercial office world, that they really want to make it very inviting. They want people to want to come to the office and have a great place to work, or the term hoteling, so you don't really have an office or a desk that's yours. You go in and sign up for a desk or an office, and that's where you work for the day. Employers are having a hard time getting people to come back in. And so the more enticing we can make it by making it beautiful plants and flowers and the things we do, makes people want to come back to the office. And
it's very therapeutic, isn't it?
Exactly. I mean, as I think I said when I was here last, where do we go on vacation? Unless we're Las Vegas bound, it's going to be the beach or the mountains or the desert, some place where there's nature to find refuge in.
Well, and on that, how can plants make a difference to the new office environment? As you just said, it makes it a little bit more inviting. Something I have always heard, and I believe I've talked to actually several therapists on my own radio show, that it really can be a therapy in its own right. People feel more at peace and calm within themselves when they're around more greenery.
Oh, absolutely. We talked last time about Shinrin-yoku.
Yeah.
It's the Japanese forest bathing. And they actually prescribe sending you out in the forest just to be calm and meditate and just take in the smells and the sights and the sounds of the forest. And so we're very connected to nature. Heck, we were a part of nature not that long ago. Very recently, we created homes in cities and separated ourselves out. So I think it's a very natural thing to get back to. The term biophilia is used a lot these days, and that really talks about our love of nature. Why do we have pets? Why do we have a dog, a cat? It's nature, and it's bonding with it.
Real quick follow-up. I know James has an additional question, but it's also kind of like the whole grounding principle. When I'm off on the weekends and I'm not in the office, and I love a good pair of shoes. It's just kind of one of my unfortunate obsessions, so to speak. But I don't like wearing shoes on the weekends. I like my feet touching the grass, touching the ground. And when you start really getting back in touch with nature, there's nothing like it.
There's something to be said for running barefoot.
Jim, you work with so many big projects, and they include all kinds of walls. You are an expert on living walls. Can you tell us what is a living wall and what is the benefit of living walls?
Sure. There's a number of different kinds of living walls. We've all seen ivy planted in the ground that goes up a trellis. And technically that's a living wall, but it's not what we do. We're actually putting a system that holds the plant on the wall. So if you imagined, say, a squashed milk crate stacked on top of each other full of soil, that's what we plant. And with that, we can create art. I mean, we're literally painting with plants on the wall. So it's not one vine or one ivy climbing up it. It's all different kinds of plants and different kinds of patterns. And that for us is a thrill to keep that alive. It's not easy. If you design, almost anybody can make it look good from day one, and there's a lot of DIY projects out there that you can find on YouTube. The trick is to do it right from the beginning, design it correctly, have the compatible plants put with each other, and then having even distribution of light. Inside, it's a challenge to have the right amount of light. Outside, it's going to be exposure as a challenge, and then even distribution of water. So everything's watered by gravity. There's drip lines across the top, and it comes down through the whole system. It stays wetter at the bottom, so you have to have plants that like more water at the bottom, and things dry out a little more at the top.
Well, you explained what a living wall is, and you also build moss walls. What is a moss wall, and why would someone want a moss wall?
Oh, these are so fun. We started doing living walls maybe 15 years ago when we first heard about the whole thing and jumped on it right away. And the moss walls have come in maybe in the last 5 or 6 years. It's essentially preserved moss, and there's 5, 6 different kinds of moss. It gets dyed in different colors. I've got different colors and different textures and different depths. The beautiful thing about a moss wall, aside from their beauty, is that they don't require any maintenance. They don't need any light. They don't need any water. They never grow, so there's no trimming. And you can, again, here we are painting with moss to create these beautiful mosaics and different patterns on your wall. They don't come out from the wall very far, so I don't have to have a lot of engineering to try to attach things. A living wall can come out 12 inches, a good foot plus. You might not have the space for that, and a moss wall will fit right in there with only a couple of inches from the wall.
Jim, you mentioned, and when Noah was asking you a question about biophilia, can you kind of go into a little bit more detail? What is biophilia, and how are plants involved in biophilia?
There's a couple of different tenets within the design world for biophilia. And so, again, biophilia is really simply the love of nature and our connection to it. When you bring it inside, we spend 90% of our time inside. And you think about it, that's a lot of our living hours and our hours during the day or night. If you have nature in that space, it could be in the form of a wooden desk or patterns of flowers in the furniture or the fabric. It doesn't have to be a living plant. It could be a fish tank. A fireplace is part of nature. If I had the ability to have grasses growing inside that blew in the wind, that'd be fantastic. A little harder to do. And so plants can be a very simple part and a very inexpensive part about bringing that little bit of nature into your workplace or into your home.
Wow. Jim, we got to take a station break. I don't want to take a station break, but we got to pay the bills. But because this information is so important, so we're going to take a station break. But we're going to come back and continue this great conversation with this great guest. And if you want to be part of this conversation, that's 1-888-344-1170. Again, that's 1-888-344-1170. It's your life. I'm James Cooley. We'll be back shortly after the break.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity. Coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley. The J.C. Cooley Foundation is a nonprofit organization that was started in October of 2014. The J.C. Cooley Foundation continues to strive to expand its programs and offerings to the youth, young adults, and citizens of our great communities nationwide and overseas. We hope that you'll be able to take part in one or more of the many exciting events that we're offering this year and experience firsthand the pride we take in supporting our cause. It's our mission to...
When we come back after the break, we'll have, looks like 11 and a half minutes.
Okay.
Since of community-minded individuals just like you, we wouldn't be able to serve our youth each year. We ask that you make a commitment to support our annual appeal by making a cash donation. This year's goal is $50,000. Your generosity will assist us in making a difference in the lives of the youth in our community. You can give online at CooleyFoundation.org. Remember that every donation makes a difference regardless of size. The J.C. Cooley Foundation thanks you and
call after the show if you get an opportunity.
Country boy, city boy.
Well, I'll call, but I just so you know, because I got to still wrap up here.
No.
Get a priority, so
do what you got to do.
I'll have no more than about 15. No, I want to call you first. But I'm saying probably got about 15, 20-minute window, and then after that I got to get back to work. So
yeah, we only need about 7 minutes. If that's okay.
No worries.
All right.
Yeah.
And heroes, get your copy of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James J.C. Cooley, available on Amazon and everywhere books are sold.
Hello, Answer San Diego listeners. My name is Sean Fitch, and I'm the proud local owner of Ram Water and Mold Restoration. While we specialize in restoration services like water, mold, and fire, we also provide high-quality custom home renovation services at very fair prices. So if you're thinking about making some home improvements, please give us a call. We can give you a no-obligation quote for our restoration or renovation services. Rising inflation, recruitment challenges, and a bottlenecked supply chain give us enough to worry about. Let RAM give you peace of mind knowing you're getting quality work at very fair prices. If you are in need of water restoration or home renovation, I want to earn your business. You have my word when you call RAM Water and Mold Restoration that we will treat you honestly and fairly, or I'll make it right myself. Please call us at 760-798-3755 or just Google RAM, that's with 2 M's, Water and Mold Restoration, and we'll get to work.
The Answer San Diego, streaming now on iHeart.com and Odyssey.com.
It's time to dream big, think big, and be big. It's time for more It's Your Life. Now, here's your host, James Cooley.
Hello, welcome back to It's Your Life. I'm James Cooley, just like and like you've been listening to this great guest, who is the owner and CEO of Good Earth Plant Company, transforming the environment, the health, and well-being of plants. And just like we have stated many, many times, that Earth cannot evolve the way it was created to be without plants, without fruits, without the pollen, and without all of these other type of things. And so I believe that this guy, Jim Mumford, is so important to educate us on how important this is. And he's out of San Diego, not just San Diego, I think he's located in 3 other different places, states as well. He's doing so many magnificent things. And if you just inquisitive, if you want to have an understanding of what plants and what he is doing, you should call in and ask this young man questions. And that number is 1-888-344-1170. Again, that's 1-888-344-1170. I know that many of you are listening live, and many of you are going to be listening on podcasts, and many of you are watching Facebook and YouTube and all this other type of thing. Doesn't matter. Educate yourself. Become a smarter individual. Hey, Jim. Oh, wow. I tell you, we talked about, and maybe not this time, we did not talk about green roofs.
and that was so intriguing. Last time that you was on the show, can you tell our listening audience what is green roofs, and why is this so important?
This is I think this is my second love. First one was potted plants. Second one is a rooftop. I looked at green roofs in 2005 as I was going through some changes in my life. I looked at what's different, what's new. And when I discovered green roofs and started asking architects about it, they wanted to know more from me than I wanted to know from them, and it really turned me on. There's a couple of different kinds of green roofs. Essentially, we're planting a rooftop. There's one type which is something a lot of people probably seen over the course of time, which is an amenity roof, where the soil's fairly deep. You can put trees or pathways or fountains or anything you want up on top of a roof, and it's where people go. There's a different type of green roof, and that's a very shallow one, 6 inches of soil or less, and that's really more from the ecological perspective. So it's very low. It doesn't have a whole lot of height. It's very limited in the types of plants that can be used up there, but it's for the ecological benefits. And a couple of those are, it helps cool the building down. Not a 10-story building, but a 1-story building to cool it down. We saved 25% of our energy bill the first year when we put it on our roof. And it adds biodiversity to the neighborhood, so now we've got birds and bees and butterflies inhabiting our rooftop. One of the things that's changed in San Diego, it used to be the rain hits our buildings, goes down the gutter into the street and out into the ocean as fast as they could possibly design it to go. And what they found is that takes a lot of fertilizer and dog poo and oil and stuff out into the oceans, and the surfers started getting sick. And so building codes have changed. They want you to hold on to as much of your rainwater as you can in a bioswale or on top of a green roof. Green roofs also extend the life of a rooftop, so you don't have to replace your roof quite so soon. There's not old roof parts going into the landfill. So I'm thrilled to be part of the green roof world. I think it means a whole lot of difference in an environmental perspective. And I'm going to throw one more in there, rooftop farms. Great idea, very hard to make sense financially, but some places are doing it. There's places in New York City, Chicago, Philadelphia that are growing crops right up on top of their roof, and it's found space. I mean, think how big a Costco is, and if you farmed that rooftop, what you could get from there.
Wow. I'll tell you, man, that so we live in Temecula, as well as Dallas, and casinos, is especially the one that we're close to. I don't know if I should call their name out, but they have a green roof, they have vegetables, they have everything on top of the casino. It's like real big. Everything is so beautiful, so green, so well put together. And they got a couple of trees up there. And I sit back and like, how do these plants survive? How do they last? But they're not, I mean, you don't see a lot of dry leaves or any of that falling off those trees. And so, can you tell our listening audience why that's so important? It's important for business, I already know that, for them. But it's also important to know that you got a gigantic building, you got trees and you got plants and you got everything on there. And a lot of people are like, well, how does that happen? How does that survive?
Well, part of it is we have to work with other trades. We're not roofers, but the waterproofing on the top of a roof before you plant it has got to be completely sealed. You cannot have any kind of leaks coming through. So that's number one. Secondly, you have to engineer the weight. A green roof can weigh a lot of extra pounds. I mean, thousands and thousands of pounds. And if your building doesn't have that engineering and the structure for that, you might have something collapse. And that's the last phone call I ever want to get. And so before we even start, it's a good solid roof. It's got the engineering, the structure. It's got a good waterproofing system. And then a lot of the next part is the soil. It's a custom media that we use up there. It is not something you can buy at Home Depot. We can't get it in a bag. It comes in through a super sack, which is essentially a cubic yard of soil. And it's the right plants. It's the right amount of water. And any plant anywhere, whether it's on your roof or in a pot on your desk, it requires that maintenance. And as long as you keep up with it, it works.
Yeah, for people out there just sitting back, just thinking that everything that you do is so high end, and I can't afford to have your services. He only dealing with commercial things and this and that. Can you tell our listening audience if they needed some of your services, everything might not be all commercial, that you might be able to help them out in their businesses and other things as well. Can you explain that to our listening audience?
Sure.
3.5
homes as well. What we do typically, I can't say it's inexpensive, but it doesn't take a whole lot of money to put plants in an office and take care of them. We have a leasing program. You can rent plants for $150 a month and have, I don't remember, it's 10 plants, I think, and clean the pots, and we come out and take care of them. So that's not a lot of money. When you think about it, you buy everybody in the office a cup of coffee every day. That's going to cost more than $150 right there. So there are low-cost alternatives. We can get these into almost anybody's hands. We do a lot of work with schools. Kids are really interested in what we're doing.
3 minutes.
Is either help them do a DIY project or provide them with materials that are inexpensive, or even like scrap or leftovers that we've got.
Jim, have you ever thought about doing like a show on television about what you do? You know, you see all these DIY shows, all these, home improvement shows. Has that ever crossed your mind, or has anyone ever approached you regarding that idea?
Yes and yes, but I'm going to leave that to you guys. I've got my career. I've got what we're doing. I've got a great crew right now. I like to laugh. I say I'm euthanizing my company, and that's not EUTH. I'm not killing anybody. It's YOUTH. We're getting new young leaders in there, and so I'm going to leave a legacy. And if in the next 10 years or
2 minutes,
the opportunity presents itself to produce something like that, I'm going to give you a big maybe. But I'd much rather just come on the air with you every few months and send my message out that way.
Wow. I'm going to hold you to that. I'm going to hold you to what you just said, because we are growing. And I believe that we have to educate. You mentioned legacy, my friend. You mentioned legacy. We have to educate the next generation and the generation after that on legacy, and making sure that we are focused on ensuring that these things that we are doing today continue to evolve. Jim, I want to thank you so much, my friend. And I want to say that I promise you it won't be 6 months next time if you are open and willing to come on the show. You got my word, my friend.
If you let me talk
1 minute,
the plants and the beauty that we bring into people's lives and enriching them all at the same time, I'm back anytime you want me.
Well, that's always going to be the plan, my friend. And I just want to thank you for taking the time to come on the show tonight. It's so educational and it's so inspirational. So, hey, Jim, thank you. Thank you, my friend.
My pleasure. Thank you.
I'd like to thank my great co-host, Michelle Cooley, that does all the heavy lifting, and she just do so much. I'd like to thank my great producer, Noah Dingley. Most importantly, I'd like to thank our listening audience for taking the time to tune in and just get educated on the great guests that we're always going to bring you. That's going to inspire and going to teach you, and just like Jim mentioned, legacy, and leave a legacy. We're always looking for sponsors so we can continue to bring this great message. And I tell you, we'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. It's Your Life. I'm James Cooley. I want everybody to continue to dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. It's your life.
All right, let me wrap up with Jim here and get him validated, man. I'll give you a call.
All right.
Okay. Log off of Zoom. Okay. All right.
Okay.
And I'm going to look this, and I'm going to finish this, okay?
Okay.
Get you ready.